Animosity Advent Stories. Wreckless. Talk to me. I ain't saying nothing. Look harder. I got him on the disc. Larboard low and coming up fast. Alright, hold on. The throttle to the gun hauler was smashed to full, and the small engine roared into overdrive. Pilot and gunner were slammed back into their restraints by the sudden acceleration, the gunner flailing for a moment at being caught off guard, looking over their shoulder. They're still closing in on us! Damned Zilfin Indolence, the pilot muttered under their breath before they gripped the wheel tighter. Tell me when they angle up and start climbing after us. They already are. Flocking hell, Grogny! You gotta tell me this crap when it happens! The rest of the apology died when the pilot shoved the angle of the bow hard down with the wheel and cut all power to the engine. The gun hauler started to fall like nothing more than a metal weight with a brass balloon atop it. Where are they at now? The pilot shouted over the onrushing air as the gun hauler was pulled towards the disc below. Soon at terminal velocity, with the pilot on the wheel frantically trying to keep the hauler from starting to spin out of control, but on a steady, even plunge. The small control surfaces made wild movements, combined with a sudden and intense devotion to Grogny to keep the fly-by-wire from snapping a line. I can't see a fetching thing, the gunners shouted as they tried to crane their neck around far enough to see what was behind them. Blisters on a Gargan's ass help you are, Groggy. You're the feffin' pilot, Hecky. Do some of that pilot crap you're always talking. Brake right! The pilot didn't think, simply slammed their foot on a rudder control as they hammered over the wheel of their controls to slide the falling gun hauler to the right, and just in time to see the skyhook flash by with a whine of its unspooling winch. Ready on the gun! The pilot shouted as they prepared a complex series of control inputs. Ready for what? To shoot the feffin' ground? Just get on the flacking gun, Groggy. On the frathing gun, aye, Groggy said with entirely too much snark as he gripped the dual triggers and lined his eye down the sight. A small bead of pure polished brass standing out in stark relief from the iron-black ring. When you got a shot, shoot the bastard, the pilot Hecky said as he slammed levers and then heaved controls. Groggy the gunner was about to unleash a perfectly worded invective and impugnment of Hecky's ancestry, when he was slammed around in his seat as the gun hauler tumbled in a new way in its fall, and then suddenly righted itself with a hard, jarring slam as it now faced backwards from where it had been. Down that lovely sight of the gun hauler's cannon was nothing but the shocked face of the other gun hauler crew. Groggy practically ripped the handles off his triggers as he squeezed the near-perfect shot before it passed them by. Bright red paint exploded all over the other gun hauler, marking beyond all contestation a clean kill. Frack yeah! Yeah, feffin' haw! A massive high five was exchanged along with a wrist grab that turned into a hand slap and then a finger fluttering away. The elaborate celebration cost them another 500 ticks of altitude before the impending mortal danger below reacquired their attention. The loud buzzing cring, cring, cring of the altimeter's warning like a screamer in their ear. Hecky slammed the engine's power back to full and fought with all his skill to get the small gun hauler clawing back into the sky and under control. Do you know how much you nearly cost the Grunstock Corp today? No, Captain! The simultaneous reply. One new, pristine working condition gun hauler with bronze-proofed cannon, fuel and ammunition for such. Well, that's a good 12,000 there, and then the 2 feckin' shekels for your worthless asses. If I wasn't such a miserly bastard, I might think about just writing those 2 off for good riddance. The Grunstock training captain thundered over the most exquisite of handlebar mustaches, set with little beads to mimic gun sights. He took a breath and calmed as he sat back down in his seat and looked to the 2 trainees. What the feck am I gonna do with you 2? Ain't no corp worth its bottom line gonna take such reckless sky boys. Hecky and Groggy looked to each other in a moment of both confusion and then the slow, lodestone-loading weight of how bad this actually was. Got any fathing thing to say for yourselves before I ponder just how high up I go to kick you out of this school? We won, Hecky said, with a firm and defiant simplicity. You won. And what did it cost you to win that sky duel, eh? Your engine is trashed. Your boat has got stress cracks from here to Sigmar's ass. And I wouldn't want to try and shoot your cannon with anything less than a powered donut for shot. A fresh one too, so we ain't risking it be too stale. The captain took a moment to return to his seat after he had found where it had gone after he had sent it careening after standing up too fast in that last interjection. The seat righted, he set his older carriage-drawn self back down into it, considering all his options. But you do have a fine point. You did win. You did make it back. And you did manage to keep your cargo intact. Then the rising smile started to grow. Oh, lads, I know just the core for you, and I know you're going to love it. And the fine copper sheets were stamped in quick order before being handed over to the two now graduated gun hauler crew. A baking company, Captain, Groggy said as he looked up incredulously from the new orders. The smile just got bigger on the captain's face.